Welcome back to our channel, gentlemen. Today, our topic is force yourself for discipline. Most people wait. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right mood. They wait for the perfect time. They wait until they feel ready. But successful people do something different. They move even when they do not feel like it. Discipline is not about feeling good. It is about doing what must be done even when you feel lazy, tired, or distracted. Your feelings change every day, but your goals remain the same. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will stay average. If you force yourself to act when you do not feel like it, you will grow stronger. Discipline is uncomfortable. It asks you to wake up early when you want to sleep. It asks you to work when you want to relax. It asks you to stay focused when distractions call your name. But that discomfort is the price of growth. Every time you force yourself to do the hard thing, you build mental strength. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you build character. In this video, we will talk about how to force yourself into discipline, how to overcome laziness, and how to train your mind to act without waiting for motivation. Because the truth is simple. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. And if you master discipline, you master your life. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Stop waiting for motivation. If you want discipline, you must understand one important truth. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel excited. Some days you feel tired. Some days you feel powerful. Some days you feel lazy. If your actions depend on your feelings, your results will always be unstable. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is decision. Most people say, "I will start tomorrow. I will begin when I feel ready. I just need more motivation." But tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And nothing changes. Successful people are not always motivated. They simply act anyway. They understand that feelings change, but commitment must stay strong. Imagine this clearly. If you only go to work when you feel motivated, you would lose your job. If athletes only trained when they felt excited, they would never improve. If students only studied when they felt inspired, they would fail exams. Progress requires action even when you do not feel like it. The moment you say, "I do not feel like doing this," that is the moment discipline begins. Discipline is doing it anyway. Your brain naturally chooses comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels easy. But comfort keeps you average. Growth lives outside comfort. Waiting for motivation is a hidden excuse. It sounds reasonable, but it delays action. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like it?" ask, "Is this important for my future?" If the answer is yes, act immediately. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Many people believe motivation comes first, but often, movement creates momentum. When you start working, even for 5 minutes, energy increases. When you sit and wait, laziness grows stronger. The hardest part is starting. Once you begin, continuing becomes easier. That is why forcing yourself to take the first step is powerful. Set small rules. For example, work for 10 minutes no matter how you feel. Just 10 minutes. Most of the time, you will continue longer. But even if you stop after 10 minutes, you built discipline. Small, consistent effort is stronger than big emotional bursts. Motivation fades quickly. Discipline grows slowly. And slow growth lasts longer. Another important truth is this: you will never feel ready. There will always be doubt. There will always be fear. There will always be discomfort. Waiting for perfect confidence is another trap. Start before you feel ready. Confidence grows through action. Strength grows through repetition. Discipline grows through resistance. Every time you act despite low motivation, you train your mind. You teach yourself that feelings do not control you. You control your actions. And when you control your actions, you control your results. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop debating in your mind. When it is time to work, work. When it is time to train, train. When it is time to study, study. No emotional discussion, just action. The more you rely on discipline, the less you depend on mood. And the less you depend on mood, the more stable your progress becomes. Remember this clearly. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is power. If you wait to feel motivated, you will wait forever. If you act without motivation, you will grow unstoppable. Force yourself to begin, because beginning builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence builds success. Lesson 2. Build discipline through daily non-negotiable habits. If you want strong discipline, you cannot depend on emotions. You must create rules, clear rules, non-negotiable habits. A non-negotiable habit is something you do no matter how you feel. No excuses, no delay, no emotional debate. For example, wake up at a fixed time. Exercise daily. Read 20 minutes. Work on your goal for 1 hour. Simple habits, but done consistently. Most people fail at discipline because they keep negotiating. I will wake up early, but not today. I will start working, but after one video. I will exercise, but I feel tired. Every negotiation weakens you. Every broken promise reduces self-trust. And when you do not trust yourself, discipline disappears. Non-negotiable habits remove decision-making. You do not ask yourself whether you feel like doing it. You already decided. Decision fatigue is real. The more you decide randomly, the more energy you waste. Habits remove decisions, and saved energy strengthens discipline. Start small. Do not create 10 new habits at once. Choose 1 or 2. Make them realistic. For example, wake up at 6 a.m. every day, no matter what. Even if you slept late, even if you feel lazy, the first few days will feel hard. But that discomfort is building mental strength. When you keep your promise, your confidence increases. You begin to respect yourself. Self-respect strengthens discipline. Another powerful non-negotiable is daily work time. Choose a fixed time to work on your goal. It could be business, fitness, study, skill development. At that time, nothing else matters. No phone, no distraction, no excuse. Over time, your brain understands. At this hour, we work. Routine builds identity. You stop being someone who tries to be disciplined. You become someone who lives disciplined. Discipline is easier when habits are automatic. Automatic habits require repetition. Repetition requires patience. Many people quit because results are slow, but habits work silently, like planting seeds. You do not see growth immediately, but under the surface, roots are forming. Trust the process. Another key idea is stacking habits. Attach a new habit to an existing one. For example, after brushing your teeth, read 1 page. After lunch, walk for 10 minutes. After work, plan tomorrow. This makes discipline smoother. No big emotional effort, just small, structured steps. Also, remember this. Non-negotiable does not mean extreme. It means consistent. Better to exercise 20 minutes daily than 3 hours once a week. Better to work 1 hour daily than 8 hours once a month. Consistency beats intensity. Always. When you build daily non-negotiables, You reduce procrastination because you stop asking, when should I do it? You already know, now, at the scheduled time. No debate, no drama, just action. The more you repeat this pattern, the stronger your discipline becomes. Eventually, what once felt hard becomes normal. Waking early becomes natural. Working daily becomes expected. Skipping feels uncomfortable. That is the power of habit. Force yourself at the beginning. Later, the habit will carry you. Remember this clearly. Discipline is not about big speeches. It is about small daily promises kept consistently. When you keep promises to yourself, you become powerful. When you break promises repeatedly, you weaken. So build non-negotiables, protect them, respect them. Because daily habits create long-term success. And discipline is simply repeated commitment. Lesson 3. Train your mind to act despite discomfort. Discipline is uncomfortable. That is why most people avoid it. Waking up early feels uncomfortable. Working when tired feels uncomfortable. Saying no to distractions feels uncomfortable. Pushing your limits feels uncomfortable. But here is the truth. Discomfort is the doorway to growth. If you always choose comfort, you will always stay the same. Your brain is designed to avoid discomfort. It wants safety. It wants pleasure. It wants ease. But success requires resistance. If you want discipline, you must train your mind to move toward discomfort, not away from it. Discomfort is not danger. It is growth in progress. When you sit down to work and you feel resistance, that resistance is normal. Do not panic. Do not escape. Stay. When you start exercising and your body feels tired, that tiredness is building strength. When you study and your brain feels strained, that strain is creating knowledge. Discomfort is a signal that you are expanding. Most people quit the moment discomfort appears. They interpret it as a sign to stop. But disciplined people interpret it as a sign to continue. They understand that temporary discomfort creates permanent improvement. Train yourself to stay, even if it is just 5 more minutes. Even if progress feels slow. Each time you stay in discomfort, you strengthen mental toughness. Mental toughness is not built by doing easy things. It is built by completing hard things. One powerful method is to separate feelings from actions. You may feel lazy, but laziness is a feeling. It is not a command. You may feel tired, but tiredness is a sensation. It does not decide your future. Feelings come and go. Actions create results. Do not allow temporary feelings to control permanent outcomes. When discomfort appears, talk to yourself calmly. Say, this is uncomfortable, but I can handle it. This is hard, but it will make me stronger. Positive self-talk supports discipline. Negative self-talk destroys it. If you say, this is too hard, your brain believes it. If you say, I can push a little more, your brain adapts. Another important idea is progressive exposure. Do not jump into extreme discipline immediately. Increase difficulty slowly. If you cannot wake at 5 a.m., start with 6:30. If you cannot focus for 2 hours, start with 20 minutes. Build tolerance gradually. Over time, your comfort zone expands. What once felt difficult becomes normal. Comfort zone growth is discipline growth. Remember this clearly. Your comfort zone is your invisible prison. If you stay inside it, you feel safe. But you do not grow. If you step outside it, you feel uncomfortable. But you expand. Every successful person lives outside their comfort zone. Not because they enjoy discomfort, but because they value growth more than ease. Discipline means choosing growth over comfort daily. You do not need to enjoy discomfort. You just need to tolerate it. Eventually, what once felt painful feels powerful. You begin to enjoy progress. You begin to respect your strength. You begin to trust yourself. That self-trust is the foundation of discipline. Force yourself at first. Push through small resistance. Stay when it feels hard. Because on the other side of discomfort is confidence. On the other side of resistance is strength. And on the other side of discipline is freedom. Lesson 4. Kill excuses and build self-respect. Discipline does not fail because of difficulty. It fails because of excuses. Excuses sound small. I am tired. I will start tomorrow. I do not have enough time. I am not ready yet. I will try later. These words feel harmless, but repeated daily, they destroy your future. Every excuse protects comfort. Every excuse delays growth. Excuses are emotional protection. They protect you from discomfort. They protect you from effort. They protect you from fear. But they also protect you from success. The moment you allow excuses, discipline weakens. The moment you remove excuses, discipline strengthens. Excuses destroy self-respect. When you promise yourself to wake early and you break it, you lose trust in yourself. When you promise yourself to work hard and you delay it, you reduce your own credibility. Self-respect grows when you keep your word. Even small promises matter. If you say you will work for 30 minutes, work for 30 minutes. If you say you will avoid distractions, avoid them. Self-respect is built quietly. It grows every time you choose action over excuse. Excuses are comfortable, but comfort is expensive. It costs opportunity. It costs growth. It costs confidence. When you remove excuses, you feel stronger, because now you take responsibility. Responsibility is powerful. It means you stop blaming circumstances. You stop blaming others. You stop blaming mood. You accept ownership. Ownership builds control. Control builds confidence. Confidence builds discipline. Many people wait for perfect conditions. But perfect conditions do not exist. There will always be distractions. There will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges. Discipline means acting anyway. Instead of saying, I do not have time, ask, where am I wasting time? Instead of saying, I am too tired, ask, am I truly exhausted or just unmotivated? Be honest with yourself. Honesty kills excuses. Excuses often hide fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. But discipline grows when you face fear directly. You may fail, but failure teaches. You may struggle, but struggle strengthens. You may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort builds resilience. Every time you remove an excuse, you build mental power. The more disciplined you become, the less you tolerate excuses. You start noticing when you are avoiding work. You catch yourself. You correct yourself. That awareness is growth. Build a rule for yourself. No emotional excuses. If something must be done, it gets done. Even if slowly, even if imperfectly, but done. Action creates momentum. Momentum reduces excuses. When you see progress, you feel proud. That pride is self-respect, and self-respect is powerful. When you respect yourself, you demand more from yourself, not with pressure, but with belief. You believe you are capable. You believe you can improve. You believe your effort matters. Excuses weaken belief. Action strengthens belief. Remember this clearly. Excuses feel safe, but safety without growth leads to regret. Years later, you will not regret working hard. You will regret the excuses that stopped you. So kill excuses early. Replace them with action. Replace them with discipline. Replace them with responsibility. Because the person who removes excuses builds unstoppable self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of real discipline. Lesson 5. Become addicted to progress, not comfort. Most people are addicted to comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels easy. Comfort feels relaxing. But comfort keeps you the same. Discipline requires a different addiction. You must become addicted to progress. Comfort gives short-term pleasure. Progress gives long-term power. When you choose comfort every day, your life stays average. When you choose progress every day, your life transforms. Comfort says, sleep a little more. Progress says, wake up and move. Comfort says, scroll for a few minutes. Progress says, work on your goal. Comfort says, skip today. Progress says, stay consistent. Every day you choose between the two. Comfort feels good now. Progress feels hard now. But comfort creates regret later. Progress creates pride later. If you want discipline, you must train your brain to enjoy growth. At first, it feels difficult. Working out feels painful. Studying feels tiring. Waking early feels uncomfortable. But when you see improvement, something changes. You feel satisfaction. You feel strength. You feel control. That feeling becomes addictive. Progress builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum builds identity. When you see yourself improving, you start believing in yourself. Belief fuels discipline. Start tracking your progress. Write down what you complete daily. Even small achievements matter. One workout, one focused work session, one chapter read. These small wins build momentum. Momentum reduces laziness. You begin to crave improvement. You begin to dislike stagnation. Stagnation feels uncomfortable. Growth feels rewarding. That shift is powerful. Do not compare your progress to others. Compare yourself to yesterday. If you are slightly better, you are winning. Discipline grows when you see results. Results do not appear instantly, but they appear consistently. Comfort feels easy today, but it steals tomorrow. Progress feels hard today, but it builds tomorrow. Think long-term, 5 years from now. What will matter more? Comfort or growth? Small comfort daily creates large regret. Small progress daily creates large success. Train your mind to celebrate effort. Do not wait for big results to feel proud. Be proud of consistency. Be proud of showing up. Be proud of resisting excuses. Discipline becomes easier when you value improvement. Instead of asking, is this comfortable? Ask, is this moving me forward? That question changes everything. Addiction to progress means you start enjoying challenges. You start seeing difficulty as opportunity. You start seeing discomfort as training. You stop running from hard tasks. You approach them. Because you know every difficult action creates future strength. Comfort makes you weaker slowly. Progress makes you stronger daily. If you want discipline, choose strength. Choose growth. Choose long-term pride over short-term ease. Because when you become addicted to progress, discipline stops feeling forced. It becomes natural, and natural discipline creates extraordinary results. Lesson 6. Control your environment to strengthen discipline. Many people try to become disciplined using only willpower. They say, I will be strong. I will resist temptation. I will stay focused. But they forget something important. Environment is stronger than willpower. If your environment is full of distractions, discipline becomes harder. If your environment supports your goals, discipline becomes easier. You cannot expect to stay focused if your phone is always next to you. You cannot expect to eat healthy if junk food is always visible. You cannot expect to work deeply if your workspace is messy and noisy. Your environment shapes your behavior. If you want discipline, change your surroundings. Make the right choice easier. Make the wrong choice harder. For example, if you want to wake up early, place your alarm far from your bed. If you want to read daily, keep a book on your desk. If you want to avoid distractions, keep your phone in another room. Small changes create big results. You do not need extreme control. You need smart setup. Remove visual distractions. A cluttered desk creates a cluttered mind. Clean space improves clarity. Clarity improves focus. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals. Quotes, vision boards, clear schedules. Let your environment remind you who you want to become. Another important factor is the people around you. If you spend time with undisciplined people, their habits influence you. If you spend time with focused, driven people, their mindset influences you. Energy spreads. Choose your circle wisely. You become similar to the environment you stay in. If your surroundings promote laziness, discipline weakens. If your surroundings promote growth, discipline strengthens. Control digital environment too. Unfollow negative content. Limit entertainment. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Create digital boundaries. Your attention is valuable. Do not allow random apps to control it. Discipline becomes easier when temptation is far away. If unhealthy food is not in your home, you cannot eat it easily. If social media apps are deleted, you cannot scroll mindlessly. Make bad habits inconvenient. Make good habits convenient. Your environment should support your future self, not your lazy self. Remember this clearly. Willpower is limited. Environment works constantly. Instead of fighting temptation daily, reduce temptation permanently. Design your surroundings for success. Place your tools in visible places. Keep your goals written clearly. Prepare your clothes for workout at night. Plan your work schedule in advance. Preparation reduces resistance. Resistance kills discipline. Discipline grows when your environment pushes you forward. You do not need to rely on emotional strength every day. Let your surroundings guide your actions. Make discipline automatic. Make distraction difficult. Control what you can. Because when you control your environment, you reduce struggle. And when you reduce struggle, you increase consistency. Consistency builds discipline. Discipline builds success. Your environment is either helping you or hurting you. Choose wisely. Lesson 7. Discipline is self-love in action. Many people think discipline is punishment. They think it means suffering. They think it means forcing yourself harshly. They think it means removing all joy. But real discipline is not punishment. It is self-love in action. When you wake up early to work on your goal, you are respecting your future. When you exercise instead of being lazy, you are protecting your health. When you study instead of scrolling, you are investing in your growth. That is not cruelty. That is care. Self-love is not always comfortable. Sometimes self-love means saying no. No to distraction. No to unhealthy habits. No to procrastination. No to short-term pleasure. Many people confuse comfort with love. Comfort feels good now. But true love protects long-term happiness. If you truly care about yourself, you will not allow yourself to stay weak. You will not allow yourself to waste potential. You will not allow yourself to live below your ability. Discipline says, I deserve better. It says, my future matters. It says, I will not betray myself. Every time you break your promise, you reduce self-trust. Every time you keep your promise, you increase self-respect. Self-respect is powerful. When you respect yourself, you raise your standards. You stop accepting mediocrity. You stop tolerating laziness. You begin to act with intention. Discipline also protects your mental peace. When you complete tasks on time, your stress reduces. When you stay organized, your mind feels clear. When you stay consistent, your confidence grows. Confidence creates calmness. Calmness creates stability. Stability creates happiness. Think about this clearly. If you continue avoiding discipline, what happens? Your goals remain incomplete. Your health weakens, your confidence drops. Regret increases. Is that self-love? No, that is self-neglect. True self-love requires strength. It requires you to make difficult choices. It requires you to think long-term. It requires you to sacrifice small pleasures for bigger rewards. When you train daily, even when tired, you prove to yourself that you are strong. When you resist distractions, you prove to yourself that you are serious. That proof builds identity. You begin to see yourself as disciplined. And identity shapes behavior. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being committed. Some days you will struggle. Some days you will feel low energy. But self-love means you still show up, even if progress is small, even if effort is imperfect. Because effort means care. You care about your growth. You care about your health. You care about your dreams. And caring requires action. Discipline protects your future self. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Would that version thank you for being lazy today? Or thank you for staying disciplined? Discipline is a gift you give to your future. It is daily protection for long-term success. When you truly love yourself, you do not allow weakness to control you. You train, you improve, you push forward, because you believe you deserve a better life. Remember this clearly. Discipline is not punishment. It is respect. It is care. It is strength. It is love in action. And when you discipline yourself, you build a life you can be proud of. Lesson 8. Become unbreakable through discipline. At the beginning, discipline feels forced. You wake up tired. You push yourself to work. You resist distractions. You fight laziness. It feels like effort. It feels heavy. But something powerful happens when you stay consistent. Discipline stops feeling forced. It becomes your identity. And when discipline becomes your identity, you become unbreakable. An undisciplined person is controlled by emotions. If they feel motivated, they act. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel bored, they stop. If they feel distracted, they give in. Their life moves with their mood. But a disciplined person is controlled by decisions. They act when tired. They work when bored. They continue when results are slow. They stay consistent when nobody is watching. That creates strength. Real strength is not physical. It is mental. It is emotional. It is the ability to keep going when comfort calls your name. Life will not always be easy. There will be stress. There will be failure. There will be criticism. There will be setbacks. If you are not disciplined, these challenges break you. But if you are disciplined, they build you. Because discipline trains resilience. When you wake up early daily, you build resilience. When you work despite discomfort, you build resilience. When you say no to excuses, you build resilience. Resilience makes you unbreakable. Unbreakable does not mean you never feel tired. It means you do not quit. It means you bend, but you do not collapse. It means you struggle, but you do not surrender. Discipline also builds confidence. Not fake confidence, real confidence. Confidence that comes from action. When you look back and see months of consistency, you feel proud. You trust yourself. And self-trust is powerful. Most people doubt themselves because they break their own promises. Disciplined people trust themselves because they keep them. That trust gives you courage. Courage to start new goals. Courage to take risks. Courage to move forward even when the path is uncertain. Discipline turns fear into focus. It turns chaos into structure. It turns weakness into power. Becoming unbreakable does not happen overnight. It happens daily. One disciplined action at a time. One resisted distraction at a time. One completed task at a time. Small victories build big strength. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you become harder to break. Every time you choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure, you become stronger. Eventually, discipline becomes automatic. You no longer argue with yourself. You no longer debate whether to act. You simply do what must be done. That is freedom. Freedom from mood swings. Freedom from laziness. Freedom from regret. Freedom from weakness. The disciplined person does not depend on motivation. They depend on commitment. And commitment creates stability. Stability creates success. Success creates confidence. Confidence creates leadership. You become someone others respect, not because you speak loudly, but because you act consistently. Force yourself at the beginning. Push through resistance. Stay steady, because at first you force discipline. Later, discipline shapes you. And when discipline shapes you, life cannot easily shake you. You become focused. You become stable. You become strong. You become unbreakable. And unbreakable people build extraordinary lives. Discipline is not easy, but neither is regret. You can choose comfort now and struggle later. Or you can choose discipline now and live strong later. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop negotiating with excuses. Force yourself to act. Force yourself to grow. Force yourself to improve. Because one day you will thank yourself for the discipline you built today. If this message pushed you to think differently, like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful lessons that help you grow stronger every day. Remember, discipline today means freedom tomorrow.